Taz Taylor, without further ado, is Taz's weekly NASCAR power ranking report. Looking forward to that. I know we've had some movers, some comers and goers, some people feeling like more like where we would be mid-season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you have with us for your segment.
Alrighty, comers and goers, here we go. Moving around once again. Everybody moved except for one team, and the one team shows right there in the basement five that stayed in the same week. It's not RFK this time, but we'll get to them when we get there. Start with the basement five. We have Haas Factory moving down one to number 15. Rick Ware moves up one to 14. Wood Brothers falls down 1 to 13. Hayek falls down 2 spots from the climbing 5. Now they're joining the basement 5 at number 12 this week. And of course, as you see, Legacy Motor Club, they stay at number 11 for another week. Thoughts, concerns, Mr.
Go
CJ?
ahead.
You're muted.
Well, good. I agree with all that. I don't think anything. I don't feel anything's wrong. Anything needs to be changed. You are looking at the bottom five teams right now. Hopefully, Josh Berry gets Wood Brothers in victory lane this weekend and goes back in Vegas, and that changes things for Wood Brothers. But as of right now, we are looking at the basement five right now.
Yeah, Sahas, back to the bottom. The rebrand buzz has faded. Now it's about hard results, which just aren't there yet. I have faith in Cole Custer. I think he's a really good race car driver. Haas is, they're fighting against the wind. It's tough to pee uphill. It's going to roll back down on you. So, kind of looking to see where that team is able to go from here. They need a good sponsor, a good partnership. I don't think that they have that going on right now. I know that they're partnered with somebody, but it just doesn't feel like it's a really strong partnership. I think it is, isn't it? With who is their partnership with? I'll ask that as I move up to Rick Ware. Up one, but still in the danger zone. The goal here is just consistently not being at the bottom. Phoenix was a nudge in the right direction. Wood Brothers, look, we're coming to Las Vegas. Josh Berry won here last year. I'm very, very concerned about the performance of the Wood Brothers team right now. I expect them, even being a one-car operation, to be Penske material up near the front. I have a lot of faith in Josh Berry. I know that he can wheel a race car. So I do look at this as another tiny step back. The name still hits harder than the result, and the gap is getting harder to ignore. I don't know if that's a Josh Berry problem, if it's a Wood Brothers problem, or if there's a problem with the partnership at Penske. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm definitely expecting more out of that little race team. High down two. The early sugar rush is finally gone. At this point, they look more like a streaky mid-tier operation than a legit top 10 block. Legacy completely struck in neutral. Like they just don't feel like they're going anywhere. And I didn't expect this after John Hunter and his, he had a good run last year at the end of the season. Eric Jones, I've been waiting for Eric Jones to break out for years, and it's just not happened.
Jonesy with the top 10 this week.
He did get a top 10 this week, and that's something to feed off of. So hopefully that'll help move the lever, and they can move more into the right direction. But right now, just very, very disappointed with Legacy and Wood Brothers for being where they are.
All right, let's go into the climbing 5. For week 4, we have RCR getting out of the basement into the number 10 spot, up 3 spots. Front Row Motorsports down 1 to number 8, or down 1 to number 9. Trackhouse down 1 to number 8 this week. Colleague Racing falls down 3 spots from the top 5, and they're now in the climbing 5 this week at number 7. And then Joe Gibbs Racing with big improvements. They're up 3 spots up to number 6, knocking on the door for the top 5 ranking spot. Start with you, Chris, and then we'll get to CJ.
Yeah, RCR finally putting the nose in the right direction. Phoenix felt like the first real sign that they're clawing back toward where the brand says they should be. I think they have a long way to go. They've got some internal things going on at RCR that they need fixed, and they need fixed quickly because it's just not working. They've got too much money rolling into that organization to be where they are right now. Another disappointment to see them so far down in the rankings. Front row, I think front row's moving in the right direction. I have been impressed with Zane Smith every weekend. Todd Gillian is consistent. There are two-car operations, so it's hard to make waves fast. But I see them headed in the right direction. Now, whether or not you kind of top out at 8 or 7 or something like that, I feel like that's where the ultimate goal for Front Row Motorsports is to get up a couple more spots, not down one. So they were right where they kind of needed to be last week. Unfortunately, they fell. But the next team, there is no excuse here. Trackhouse has a lot of money. They have a lot of investments into their drivers. They've got quite a bit of sponsorship money coming in. Connor Zillich looks terrible. What a heartbreak for that kid to be where they were last year in the O'Reilly Racing Series, O'Reilly Race Parts Series, versus where he is now in the Cup Series. I know this is Cup. This is the best of the best, but I expected a little bit more out of Zilly already this season and just have not seen those results at the end of the race. But Shane Van Gisbergen seems to be the guy that's keeping that organization afloat right now. Shout out top five right now in the points. Trackhouse definitely room to grow. This is the team that should be in your top five, not eighth or below. So definitely they've got to get their ass in gear. Colleague down three. Colleagues, they're evening out where they should be. I've been impressed with Ty Dillon. I'm not gonna lie. Ty's put together some strong finishes. We know what the Dinger can do. We know where the Dinger's strong. AJ is a great person to lead your organization if you're not looking for a week in, week out powerhouse structured win, right? They're not going to be a powerhouse team. They're not going to be a top five team. But AJ can consistently give you finishes. He knows how to take care of race cars. He knows the ultimate goal. Don't overuse the race car at places where you're not going to be ultra competitive. Now, when you go to road courses and you go to Daytona and stuff like that, I expect to see Colleague in a little bit different fashion. But they're right where they should be. Probably up a couple spots where you'll see them by the end of the year. Gibbs, definitely a top four team, top three. We talk about the big three all the time, seeing them there. But look, for how long, right? Chase Briscoe, I think he's sitting 34th in points right now. You're not going to have Chase Briscoe sitting in 34th in points four more races into the season. This team is going to continue to climb. Ty Gibbs is the weak link, but Ty Gibbs is showing that he can stay competitive in some of these races. I expect Gibbs to continue to move up Taz Taylor.
CJ.
I don't know. RCR, I could see in the basement five, but other than the fact that you got five teams worse than them. So I think I'm a little bit harder on RCR. 10th is the right place for them, and that's only because there's five teams worse than them, not because they're the 10th best. They're just not the fifth worst. Trackhouse, I agree with you 100%, Chris. SVG is kind of carrying that team right now. Kind of disappointed in Ross Chastain. He's just really not putting up the performances that we was kind of expecting out of him this year. I agree. A lot of money in this team. There's no reason that they are not turning over the performances. Joe Gibbs Racing, I believe, is a top five team. So without remembering who's left in the top five, I know there's a couple teams definitely better than them, but I'd be willing to bet, I would argue, Gibbs to be over somebody that is in the top five. So once we flip over, I'll make that argument on my term. But hopefully, Joe Gibbs continues to find itself moving forward and hoping that this whole court stuff doesn't get them sidetracked.
Alrighty, that will lead us to our top five. And we start with Hendrick Motorsports going up one this week to number 5. RFK Racing falls down one after sitting at number 3 for 3 weeks straight. They fall down to number 4. Spire Motorsports drops their number 1 ranking after a poor outing at Phoenix. They're at number 3. Team Penske shoots up 3 spots to number 2, and 2311 on top of the leaderboard, up 1 spot from number 2 last week. Mr. CJ, we'll start with you before Chris closes that out.
All right, make mine quick. RFK. If I was gonna say who should be in the top five and moved out, Joe Gibbs in top five. RFK probably six in my book. 2311 I feel is on top. I feel they should have been the top one the entire time. Um, Even with not winning this weekend, still having a good performance, especially out of Tyler Reddick. I like one, two, three. I don't know. I can see Hendrick. So but RFK is the one I would have bumped out of the. So go ahead, Chris. I want to make sure I give you plenty of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, RFK, I feel like they're a top six organization. So just being in that fourth spot just shows the commitment that these drivers have had. They're a three-team operation now. That means three teams have to have good finishes to be here. They have been consistent. Do I believe that this is where they're going to sit all year long? Absolutely not. 2311 has proven that they deserve somewhere in that five spot. Of course, Trackhouse is underperforming right now. We just said that they belong in the top five somewhere. So that doesn't give much room. Of course, there's another faker on here, and we'll get to them in just a minute. But Hendrick's on his way to number one. Like, no doubt in my mind, before the year is out, we're going to see Hendrick sometime or another at the number one spot. What could kind of hinder them right now is the fourth team. And Alex Bowman, no telling where that team's going to go. I believe Allgaier's going to step in this week and race. Whether or not Bowman's able to perform when he does get back in the car is a wait and see situation. So they do have one kind of like Gibbs. They have that one car that's going to kind of continue to fluctuate whether or not they're a one, two, or a three. But Hendrick's in the top five. We know that they're going to continue to climb. As I said about RFK, I don't expect them to stay here for very long. I do expect them to kind of fall down to around the sixth spot. But somewhere between that five and six spot is where RFK wants to be, and they'll be a strong organization if they hold that. Of course, we've seen RFK all the way down outside the top 10. I think at one point in time in Taz's earlier a couple of years ago when RFK was finally starting to make that climb. So they've come a long way. I'm really proud of where they are. Spire, like, I don't even know how the hell they're still in the top three, right? Like, I think Carson did wind up with a pretty good finish. Michael McDowell, up to this point, kind of pieced together a pretty good, decent points run. But Spire, by no means. You're going to see them fall somewhere in that seventh, eighth, even ninth spot, unless we just see some major improvement out of Carson. Maybe get a couple of wins and stuff, but we'll just have to keep our eye on that. Penske at number two, they're battling for that top spot right now. There's a third car called Austin Cindric, who, I think he's sitting like 32nd or 33rd in points, just really, dragging that team down. But for Blaney and Logano, both of them have shown pretty big power points throughout the year so far. I don't think that team has anything to worry about. And 2311, is the Cinderella story over with? I think so. I think we've run the money out. Now, who knows? We may show up at Vegas and Tyler Reddick be back, or he might follow Jordan's footsteps and take 2 races off and come back and win 3 more again. We'll have to wait and see. But enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. 2311 at the top. You've been able to hold there. Up one this week. You're at the spot that you deserve to be. Tyler Reddick put forth a top 10 finish this year at this last race, and so kudos to that team. And Bubba Wallace still sitting there, I think, at second or third in points. I'm not really sure. I know he was second last week. I don't think he's there this week. But kudos to 2311. I mean, job well done.
Looking for the ultimate way to represent your team? Welcome to the 110 Sports and Collectibles Company. We are a veteran-owned business that takes pride in bringing the best in officially licensed merchandise. From the NFL and MLB to the NBA and college sports, we've got your fan cave covered. Visit us at any of our 4 locations. Find us in Monroe, West Milton, Hocking Hills, and Lancaster, Ohio. Can't make it in? Shop our full collection online at the 110 Sports and Collectibles Company. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. There is only one nation, the 110 Nation.